Well, don't tell me what time the meeting is, so how am I supposed to know what time to go?
That's how to play.
All right, I need to start.
Come on, Mia. Take it easy. What'd you say, Kelly?
I need to register for these classes. They're so December 3rd or the 9th. 2 to 3 or 11 to 12. Let's do December 9th.
Hey, 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 hey.
You guys want breakfast?
I need some eggs.
And bacon?
And you got a couple pieces left, don't you?
Sure.
Well, there's some hamburger too.
That's the stuff I told you I was gonna
Freeze.
freeze.
Yeah, I was here yesterday. With just xpressDocs as a whole, just gonna kind of real quick tell you what we do. We do all the postcards, brochures, flyers, business cards, for example, all the stationery, pocket folder, notepads, on so and on so. We've also recently introduced yard signs as well. And you can access all of this by going through Leverage. So you go to Leverage, click on the xpressDocs link, and you are going to land on a page that looks just like this. Today, I'm really going to focus on two things. Do this a little bit different for time-wise. But one thing I'm going to get into is something that we refer to as My Listings. It's using MLS data that's provided to us by ERA and map that information to a postcard order. And then we've recently launched or upgraded version of our automated property marketing that I'm going to get into as well. Typically, I stick with postcards. I do postcards for a very specific reason. One, it's our most popular product. Two, putting together a postcard is just like putting together anything in our system. We're template-based. You're filling out specs. You're uploading pictures, all those types of things. The only difference between a postcard and, say, a brochure is with a postcard, I can get into the mailing options, how to create a mailing list and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I am in a live account. So Darlene, if you are on the phone, this is your account. Just kind of randomly selected you. I won't make any changes or anything that will affect your account. So some things I'm going to bypass. I'm going to mention it, but I may not put something in there because I don't want to actually affect her account too much. So I'm going to go up once I've logged in, and you're going to have some tabs kind of up at the top. And you're going to see one of those that says My Listings. And when you click on My Listings, what you're going to get is a list of all the properties that we have received on your behalf. So if I was to scroll through, you can see all the different properties. So if I came in and I wanted to place a postcard order, I could find, for example, the property that I want, and I can say Laurel Boat Lane, for example, and I can just simply hover over my marketing options. So we're going to give you two options: send direct mail, or if you want to create a marketing piece, which would be more of a brochure or a flyer. I mentioned that I'm going to do postcards, so I'm going to say I want to send a direct mail postcard. And when you do so, it's going to bring you back to the gallery, and then you're going to select any postcard that you want. So I want to do property postcards. And then you're going to come into the gallery. And as I mentioned, ERA has been working hard. So most of the postcards that you're seeing have been posted in the last few months, as we're bringing down some of the old and introducing some of the new. You can toggle by size here. You're going to have a large or you're going to have a small. I'm going to say I want to send a large card, and I'm going to get all my different options here. Go ahead, find the one that you prefer, and I'll go ahead and I'll select a 3 photo. Once you select the front, you can view all the pricing. I always show the pricing just to make sure that we understand how xpressDocs does it. So you're going to have first class, standard mail, and shipping. So first class mail obviously is print postage out the door directly to the homes using first class postage. Standard is the same, except we're using standard mail. What's the biggest difference between those is It's the amount of time it takes. We're in Fort Worth, Texas. We're doing everything. We're mailing from here. We're shipping from here. My rule of thumb just for which one to do is if it's time sensitive, go first class mail. If it's an open house, something like that. If it's a just sold, maybe you want to save some extra money, you can use standard because it's just not nearly as time sensitive. This is just for you to know. Shipping means we're giving it to FedEx, shipping it directly to you, and nothing real different there than ordering anything else online. So now I'm going to select my backside. We have a 2-agent photo and we have a team photo. For you single agents out there, this is the one you want. If you only select one photo, it's just going to shift over like the other one never existed. So I'm going to go ahead and select my back, and I'm going to go ahead and customize. I'm going to say I want to start a new order. And when I do that, it's going to ping our server. That means it's going to go try and grab all the information that we can on this particular property. So as I come down, and I'm going to point out some things here that you might want to fill out as well. So you can name the order. As I come down, you're going to have all your contact information. Most of our templates contain 8 lines of contact information. So you can put your title, you can put all your phone numbers, your websites, all those types of things. What I do suggest is saving as the default the first time you enter it. So that way the next time you come in, you do not have to modify it again. Keep coming down. Darlene doesn't have a headshot in here, but I could add a headshot. It's just like attaching an attachment to an email, but you're attaching it to xpressDocs. Once it's uploaded, it will remain in here. So you just got to get it in there that first time. Now, as I come down, you can actually see what we were able to get on the property itself. So I've got my pictures that it has pulled. I could choose another image if I wanted to, if I didn't want to use one. We're going to pull up to 10 photos per property. As I can keep coming down, you're going to see that we've attempted to start pre-filling in the postcard for you. So we've got the address, we've got the city, we've got the price. We didn't get a back headline, so we're going to have to go ahead and put that in. And I'm just going to label it so you can see it when we proof it. And then we've got our contact, or we've got our description. So one thing about the MLS is the MLS, you can really put as much information in there as you want. However, a postcard is a little bit different where you have a limited amount of space. So one of the things that you want to keep an eye on is this lovely little character count here, because the only thing xpressDocs can do to fit your information is to shrink your text. And if you override that character count by too much, well, what's going to happen is you're going to end up getting a font that is not readable. We are going to give you a font warning if your font gets below 8.5 in the customer agreement. I'm going to go ahead and just take some out. We have suggested copy if you want to override that. And then we have our spec fields. So we were able to grab the bathrooms. We got the square footage. We've got the year that it was built. Some reason we didn't get the bath in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. Come down. We know it's just listed from the feed. And I'm going to go ahead and generate my proof. So what the proof is going to do is it's going to grab everything that we've just done. It's going to throw it into the proof, and it's going to show you exactly what it is that we're going to print and mail. What you see here is what you will get. So the proof is important. You want to make sure that you like it, because if you do not, you're going to want to go up and make changes. You don't want to just place the order and then give us a call or assume that maybe xpressDocs adds something after the fact, because we are completely automated. We are generally printing your postcards or your order in about 10 to 15 minutes after your order is placed, which does not give us a lot of time to modify or cancel an order. But we do that because we want to turn these around as quickly as possible for you guys. Our deadline every day is 4 o'clock Central Time. So if you place your order by 4 o'clock, which is 5 o'clock your time, we are going to, if we're mailing the cards for you, we're going to give them to the post office the following business day. If we are shipping them to you, they'll be on the FedEx truck the same day. All right. So you can view as a PDF if you want to get it nice and larger. If you work with someone and want to send it to them, you can click on the PDF, save it down, email it to your partner, make sure they like what you're sending out. But you just want to make sure it looks good. If everything looks good, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on our customer agreement, or we'd scroll up, make our changes, and move on. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue because I'm going to say I like what I see. And then we're going to get into, kind of checkout options or what you want us to do with the cards. Use our complete mailing service. That's what we're going to do today. That means we're giving it to the post office, and you're going to have to tell us where you want us to mail it to. And ship order to me, like ordering anything else online. How many do you want? What level of shipping do you want? Place your order. Very simple. So I'm going to use our complete mailing service, and I'm going to go ahead and hit next. We kind of already discussed first class and standard mail, so just select the one that you prefer. Hit next. And then you get into your address list options. This is generally where we get the most questions, just getting a better understanding of these options that are available to you. So obviously at any point in time, you can upload a list into our system. You've pulled it from the tax rolls. You have your sphere list that you've been working on for all the years that you've been a realtor. You can upload all those things to an xpressDocs, and we will mail exactly where you want us to mail. When you upload your list, we are going to CAS certify it. That means we're going to run it through a database to try and confirm whether the address is mailable. One of the things that we run into is you've maybe sold that house. It's there, but maybe they don't accept their mail there. They use a P.O. box. If that's the case, we are going to fail it because we'd actually have to have the P.O. box in there, not the physical address. Very simple. You're just going to, these are the different file types that we take. We got Microsoft Excel, Database Fox Pro. I've been here 12 years, as I mentioned. I still don't know what that is and don't think I've ever seen anybody use it. And then you have tab delimited and comma separated. Most of you are going to be using Excel or CSV files. We want it in one of these formats. Column A, B, C, D, E, all have different things in it. If you have your spreadsheet, it is not matching one of these, you can request assistance, or you can call us up here at the top. You can chat us, email us. We can help you merge or break columns if needed so you can get your list into xpressDocs. So that's uploading a list. And then I'm going to touch on a couple of these, and then I'm going to walk you through what is by far the most popular. Most popular that I'm referring to is radius, so we'll come back to that one. But you have your street list. You're typing in the individual streets that you want to go to. Maybe you have a lakefront property, something along those lines, and you only want to send to other lakefront properties. You can type in those individual streets, and we're going to grab those addresses off those streets. You can even tell us that you want to go from the 2000 to the 4000 block. Here in Texas, we have some very long streets, so you may not want to hit the whole street. And then you have your demographic. It gets into age, income, how long someone's lived somewhere, those types of things. And then we have our radius. The reason I say radius is the most popular is because it's a proximity. Most leads come from a proximity of the home. And what you're doing with a radius is just typing in a central point, telling our system that you want to search for the nearest 100 homes around it. So I'm just going to walk you through that real quick so you can see it, because we use this radius functionality within the APM program as well. So it's very important that if you want to take advantage of the APM system that we'll get into, you understand how we are creating those address lists. So this is the address. I unfortunately have no idea what that zip code is, so I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And I'm going to put in my address here. And then you're going to tell us if you want to go to single and multi, single family only, or multifamily. I want to go to single family only, and I want to send out 100 postcards. I'm going to go ahead and hit search. And just like that, I have my list. So I'm going to get all the different streets that we're going to go to, the zip code that it lives in, the start house, end house, and how many addresses on each street. If you know on Country Day Trail that you have a competitor realtor or high school enemy or whatever it may be, and you don't want to send them a postcard and you know their address, you can click on here and you can remove addresses. Just keep in mind, if you take an address away, we are not going to replace it. So you might want to do your list for 102 if you anticipate taking some out. Because the difference between you actually would drop into a different price tier in some cases if you were to take one out, and actually could end up costing you more than if you ordered 100. So just keep that in mind. All right. Then we have your manage mail list. This is important, and I do these a lot, and I do my best to stress what you should do here, depending on what you're trying to accomplish and where you're doing your mailing. This is how we're going to address it. So this is, you can just use the owner name. So it would go out to Matt Irwin at 48 Legend Road. Or you can replace name with, or you can add or resident, occupant, or homeowner. So it would go out to Matt Irwin or resident. I almost always suggest using one of these or resident, occupant, or homeowners. Any database that you're getting address lists, including ours, is going to have information that unfortunately has not been updated. And if the mailman or woman knows that that person no longer lives there, it doesn't have to go in the mailbox. It can be just sent back to you if you're using first class mail, or if you're using standard mail, it goes into no man's land. By adding resident or occupant or homeowner, it's going into the mailbox. And that's what you want. You want it in the mailbox. You don't really want those coming back to you. Now, there is a case where you can see here that you kind of want to do the opposite. And that is if you work in a very seasonal area. That means you are doing your mailing and you don't necessarily anticipate that those people are in those homes, and you need it to be forwarded on to where they're currently accepting mail. So if that is the case, you do not want to use or resident, occupant, or homeowner. But we're going to go ahead and say that we want to add or resident. We're going to name our list. We're simply going to hit agree, and I'm going to approve my list. And just like that, I have made my radius list. Once it's in here, you can select as many lists as you want. So if I wanted to send to all 8 of these lists, I could check mark every single one of them. I'm going to say I just want to go to this one. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. We're going to run it through the NCOA. Nothing typically here that you need to worry about. It's national change of address. And then we have a sample card. The sample card is a card that we're going to send out to you guys when you place your order. There's no extra charge for it. By default, it is the office. More so than ever this day and age, you might not be going into the office. If you don't want to go to the office, edit that sample card so you can make sure that you get yours, because you get a tangible piece. You can hold on to those. You can show them to prospective sellers and buyers, and kind of let them know what you do for your clients. But if you want to do any follow-ups, it's pretty safe to say that if you got your card, that everybody else got theirs. Keep coming down. We'll give you a PDF that you can do whatever you like with once you place your order. We're going to put a high gloss UV coating on it. It is free with postcards. It's an upgrade for other items. Completely recyclable. If you do not want to use it, just go ahead and hit none, but I recommend it. I think it helps the pictures pop a little bit and protect it through the mailing process. Schedule future fulfillment date. Probably not going to use it for just listed, just sold stuff. You're saying that you don't want this to be mailed tomorrow. You're saying, okay, you're selecting your production date. Maybe you're doing more of a seasonal type deal and you're going to be out of town and need something to go into production while you're out of office or out of town. You can do that. Just keep in mind it's production date, not when it's going to arrive at the homes. I'm not want to do anything there. I want this to go out as soon as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Come through. If we have any discounts going, enter your discount code. Breakdown of everything that we've done here, and you can simply hit proceed to checkout, enter your credit card information, place your order. If I was to place this order right here and now, it would go to the post office tomorrow morning. So that is in short using my listings. You're just saving some steps there from if you were to start the order from scratch, such as we already had the pictures, we populated some of that text, and something we built in just to save you some time. I'm going to move. I guess we'll take questions at the end. Typically, I keep these fairly laxed, and we just take them as we go. But we can kind of hit all those at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to return back to my home screen here, and I'm going to now discuss APM. So APM stands for Automated Property Marketing. And what we're doing here is using the same information that we just used in My Listings, but we're using it in a different way. So if I hover over my programs, you can see here that I have an APM option. The APM is our latest thing that we've pushed out. And what drives it is events. And by events, what I'm talking about is the types that you see here on the left. It's just sold, it's a price change, it's a new listing, and it's an open house. Anytime you have one of these, we are triggering an order and or also shooting out an email to you guys saying that your marketing campaign is ready. And you can actually click on that link, and I'll show you where that link will take you here shortly, and actually start your campaign. This is the one thing within xpressDocs, even though we're going to expand on it, that is completely mobile optimized, which means if you are sitting at an open house waiting for everybody to show up, you get an email from us, you can actually knock out a postcard or a flyer order, do a social media post if you wanted to, directly from your cell phone. So as I come in, and I'll do the same property because you're going to notice this is the one that I did in My Listings. I'm going to go ahead and do it here as well so you can kind of see the difference. So if I logged in, this is how I would access it. And I'd click right here on this little action button to kind of jump into my order. So once you kind of start your order, we're going to ask you what you want. So for this particular marketing campaign, do you want a postcard? Do you want a brochure? Do you want a flyer, social media, or an image download? And you can simply select what you prefer. And this is the page that you land on if you click on the link that we email you. I'm going to say that I'm going to get these particular items right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into customize and checkout. So just like before, what we're going to do is we're going to grab all the information. We're going to start mapping it to templates for you. And give it just a second to pop. All right. So just like that, I have my postcard. If I like that front, I can actually go ahead and click on my back. There is one thing different here that I always point out, and we're kind of testing which way we want to do this. You heard me mention with My Listings that we are using that MLS data, and we can end up with too much text. So unlike My Listings, we didn't pre-shrink it for you. We're actually cutting it off to keep that font size larger. So we'd want to go in here and we'd want to modify that. And we're going to give you a heads up that we've done this, that we have cropped your text in the description. So I can click on my edit here, and there's multiple ways to do editing. I can click here, and I can actually do my editing on template. So if I do my edit on template, I can add my headshot. I can click in here, modify any of the text directly, or I can scroll down here if I want to do it in the spec fields and enter anything that needs to be entered. Once you've made all your changes, go ahead and save it. I can modify a picture if I wanted to by right-clicking, select a different image, and you're going to see here all the different ones that we got within APM. So simply select the one that you prefer. We'll just say it is this one right here. Insert that one. And just like that, I've changed the picture. Anytime you make a change, we're going to have to save it. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. We're going to tell you if we're missing anything. All right. So now I'm going to collapse my order options. So these are the things that APM system is just doing on your behalf. We have already created that radius list that I mentioned to you, so you do not have to make it. You can come in, easily change that radius list to 100 if I wanted to, select my mailing class, get my UV coding, I'm going to get my download, and I can move on to my flyer. All right. Now, if I scroll through, take a look at the flyer, it looks like we're missing some things. So you'd want to go to that edit functionality that I showed you before, get in the number of garage, the bathrooms, all those types of things that we just weren't able to map properly. Once you like it, we're going to come down, collapse our options. How many do you want? You want to go ahead and select whether you want any coatings on it, and keep coming down. You'll get a PDF again, and then you can go straight to your social medias. So the social media will allow you to post directly from xpressDocs to your social medias. Make your changes if you want to. Come down, and it looks like she's actually done some linking in here. I'm not going to do any posting, but you could actually post directly to your business Facebook, your Twitter, or your LinkedIn. You just need to. So it looks like she's already linked it, but you just have to link, and you can do that directly from this page. Typically, you'll get a pop-up, enter your username and passwords, and then once it's linked, we'll save it in here for you. We are trying to get in with Instagram as well, just FYI. A lot more hoops to jump through to do so, but we're working on it. I'm going to say that I do not want this option anymore. It's just something I decided once I was in the order I don't want. This is available on anything, and you can actually remove this from my cart, hit OK, and then I can go straight on to my image download. It's exactly what it says it is. You just getting an image from xpressDocs to do whatever it is you want to do. And you're just going to download it. It's 100% resolution, so you can email it, manually post it, do whatever you'd like. Just like anything else, you can modify it if you don't like it, but you're going to see here that you're going to tell us what you want, whether it's a JPEG or PDF, and I can literally just hit download. And when you do that, you're going to just save this image straight onto your computer, and you've got it. You've got that JPEG. Keep coming down. I'm not going to be able to go any further because within this system, I'm technically masquerading as this person, so it won't let me move forward. But then you're just going to enter your credit card information and place your order. I mean, you can see with an APM that even with using my listings to do a postcard in the APM system, I've literally pretty much done a campaign in the amount of time it took just to do a postcard. So that is my APM system, or our APM system. I'm going to show you just another part of the APM system real quick, that if it's something that you want to take advantage of, going into your specific APM profile and just setting what you prefer. Because right now what we have are what I refer to as company settings. But as an agent, you can override those settings at any time if you want to use a different postcard for just listed or just sold or open house. You're going to see here I have my APM profile. As I come in, this is where you can upload your headshot, get it saved into the system. But here's where I can kind of start overriding. I won't walk through all of these because they're basically the same. But here's where you can drive the templates that are being used. Maybe you do not want to use a large card, or you don't want multiple photos for new listings. You can actually come in here, you can hit change template, and you can select from the available gallery the card that you would prefer to use. So every time that we get a new listing, that's the card that we're going to use. You can also override those MLS comments if you want to. Maybe not for my listing and some of those other things, but open house just sold. If you want to say the same thing every time, I have sold this house in your neighborhood, I can do the same for you. Please give me a call at. You can go ahead and enter that information here, and that's what we'll pull onto any card that we have marked as a sold. Drive your mailing class, your coding options, that radius list that automatically generates, or if you wanted to set a default mailing list, you could. Just like that, you can do the same with flyers. And then we have our terms and conditions and where you can subscribe for the program. The only thing you're really subscribing for when you subscribe for this program is to get the emails. We are going to generate these in your account, but if you want to get the emails from us that have that link, what you're going to want to do is just click here and hit subscribe. You'll start getting those, and you can access directly from your cell phone. That is APM in short. The only thing that I would point out other than that about APM and my listings, that if you guys go into Leverage today, you click on your xpressDocs account and you don't see listings. There's a couple things that could drive that. One, maybe if it's the first time you've logged in, that means you don't have an account. We weren't able to map things to it. But moving forward, now that you've clicked on us, we can start mapping things to your system. But if you don't have any and you know you've had an account, give us a call. Let us try and figure out where the break is. Why? Because what we're having to do is Willogy's dumping all of this information onto our FTP, and then we have to take from there and attempt to map it to a agent account. We do this using two things. I'm going to call a link ID, which isn't overly important to you what that is, but we also use an email address. One of the problems with an email address is we all have too many of them. So if we're getting it with your ERA email address, but in xpressDocs general information, you have your Gmail, we obviously have a break there, and we're now no longer able to map those properties to your account. Usually we're pretty good at troubleshooting and can get it figured out so you can start taking advantage of these things. But unfortunately, we don't know if it's not working until you reach out to us. And I've talked about general information. So if you're ever wondering where that is, you can go to your profile up at the top. And I'm talking about the email address that is in right here. So if you think that maybe that's incorrect, go ahead and update it so we can get the best matching that we can get. All right. Those are the two things that I really wanted to touch on today. Questions, maybe you've been in xpressDocs before, you've run into something, or just a question about one of the items I've just walked you through.
Can you go to seasonal marketing?
So seasonal marketing is anything seasonal, mostly postcard oriented. Obviously, we're hitting that season right now. So if you wanted to come in, you could send out Thanksgiving postcards, and you're going to get just all the different designs available to you. And we'll do Christmas, we do sports schedules, we do all those types of things. And let's give it a second because I think it's loading. There it goes. So you can come in here, you're going to see all the different things that we have available. Really no different than what I've just walked you through, but you don't have to use my listings or anything like that. You're just starting an order, putting in your information, telling us where you want to send it to. But you can see we're going to have tons of farming, keep in touch type things. And we even started doing social media posts and things like that as well, that you can just download from our system and post.
Great.
We've got
these
video.
Go right onto social media.
Well, these are just set for download. You just download it. So you put together what you wanted to post in our system. You download it out of our system and you manually post it. But let's say for something like these are video conference backgrounds. So if you wanted to come in, get a background that you would set for one of these types of meetings, you can even come in here and get those types of things. And obviously these are kind of newer. We did not have anything like this until the current situation, but these are just kind of some of the things that we've added in 2020.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm. You can see on and on. There's all kinds of things in this seasonal area.
Yeah, so just a couple things that jumped out at me. Well, real quick, obviously, just to make sure everyone knows and confirm it for me, Matt, that so we have, just using Darlene, for example, her natural address comes up to our, I guess, sort of our hub in the Columbus market. She's actually out of a different office that she physically goes to work, that she kind of calls her own, she can easily change that address so it's the office address, correct?
Yeah, she can modify it. Or if we have to move her, is it more of a? I'll be honest when I say I don't really understand satellite offices.
Yeah, they won't show up. So she'll physically just kind of go in there and go, hey, this is my office, and then save it, and it'll just come up next time.
That's right.
Okay, perfect. I actually love so two things with the whole postcard thing. We almost always just think about just listed, just sold. So in it's awesome. It's awesome to send them both. But kind of like Kelly was asking, the idea of using this more of a farming option. You can still pick the radius, you can still pick some streets, you can upload your sphere, upload your past clients. And then just kind of get it down once, and then you push a couple buttons and you've just sent out, some awesome postcards to stay in touch with folks. So obviously the just listed, just sold are, kind of the core, but there's so many more options that allow you to say hi, and if you choose to use the tool, with just a couple clicks.
That's right. It's just staying top of mind. For those people that you've worked with in the past, just making sure that when they run into somebody, if they start thinking about it, your name is the first one that they think of.
Yeah.
Here's all the holiday items right here. This is coming up quick.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to say one more thing about the just listed, just sold. And I've heard it probably more. Well, I've definitely heard it more than I ever have from a lot of folks, a lot of coaches and folks that we listen to. We are potentially listing a property and selling it in 24 hours or less, or around that time. So what we've actually lost as an agent is a chance to market that property and say, hey, this is my listing. Because I'm listing it, I got I got multiple offers, it's going quick. Even if that was a week and I thought, well, geez, send it just listed, it's going to be sold tomorrow. Well, guess what? We just lost a chance to say, I listed this property. And if you want to send 100 for $100 or do the cheaper postage, you can get the cost down, you can send 50 out. But man, if we just get in the habit of saying, I listed a property, I am sending a postcard. I don't care if I hope it sells today or tomorrow, but I'm still going to send it, because guess what? Then in 30 days, I can send it just sold for another $50 or $100, and not lose a chance. You barely get the sign up. How long is the sign going to be up? How many people actually saw the sign? How many people saw the property online because it was pending for the day? So don't, all I'm saying is don't kind of lose out on the chance to market yourself, especially if you can push a couple clicks and, have a postcard go out and be out there and they all see you. Around that property to your sphere or whatever, and then do a just sold again, and just make, give yourself a chance to market yourself and brand yourself as a listing agent. So.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to that, for all of you who don't know me, my name is Michaela Sharpshare. There's another Michaela Sharpshare on here. She works with Jeremy in Westchester. I am actually just a partner with ERA. I run the array transaction coordination that you guys have seen a little bit about. But basically what I do is I'm not a licensed real estate agent. I come in and work alongside the agents in your offices to, do the traditional paperwork that a transaction coordinator will provide. But I actually have admin access to this xpressDocs system. So I can work as the agent. So I could go in and do exactly what he did with this account here and make them in the agent, have the agent's headshot, their address, their contact information, and send them out to their sphere and post on their social media accounts, like all just without the agent having to do anything. So this is something that we provide in all of our services. We have just, if you're looking for just marketing or like just listed flyers, you know, stuff like that, we have that. As well as the full contact to close. And this is all included in that as well. So it's, yeah, again, super easy. I think the touch points of just getting out to your sphere is like super important. Jeremy and I were talking, even putting your sphere into like this database, you can send them out and to not only the neighborhood that you're selling in, but also to past clients, just gets your name out there again. Keeps that, like past customers up to date on what you're doing. So yeah, I think it's a really great system. I'm really excited about it. I love the automated like APM. I think it's a great feature. Yeah, just really excited about it. Thanks for giving us a rundown on it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So the branch managers, we do have tiered. So, and all that is marked in Leverage. So when you click on xpressDocs, you're marked as an admin. You have access to all the agent accounts, any order, all the My Listings for all the agents and things like that. So you can literally masquerade as them. Very similar to what I'm doing.
I did have a question on that. I was working with a couple agents and I noticed they weren't in the system to where I could masquerade as them. And then there was a couple of old agents that I know are no longer with ERA. How do we go about getting that like updated?
So any new agent, so even with the relationship that we have with ERA, it's not that they just get entered in a dash and then automatically have an xpressDocs account. What generates the xpressDocs account, even though it's a single sign-on from Leverage, is they have to click on that xpressDocs link at least one time. And that generates the account right there on the spot. Now we have all these single sign-ons and things like that, but what we don't have is something that tells us when an agent leaves. They just lose access to Leverage, lose access to xpressDocs. On the office level, and I'm not on an office level right now, you can go into the profile and deactivate agent accounts if you need to. But unfortunately, we just don't get that information when an agent leaves. So yes, if you go in as a branch manager, you start looking through your agents, 100% you can see missing agents and accounts for agents that may no longer be with the company. Super easy to remove them. You just got to go to your profile and do it.
Do you have anything for property management?
No, not a ton for property management. Now, if there is a need within your company for things like that, let's discuss it. We can do custom templates. So let's say you come in here and you just don't have something that really screams your area. Let's discuss it. We can post templates and keep them strictly for you. That means we hide it from all the other companies and we're posting it just for you. If you have an agent that really wants a custom template, we can do that and post it specifically only for the agent. There could be some cost associated to it. It's just something that we'd want to discuss. But if you have those types of needs and we don't have a match for it, let us know. We can look into adding. My rule of thumb is if we're really putting it up for everybody, I typically will try and waive some of those design costs. So if you get in here, let's talk about what's maybe missing and we can potentially get something added for you.
Great, thanks.
All right. Anybody else have anything for Matt? Questions, comments? All right. Well, I think that's it, Matt. I really appreciate you taking the time. It was very helpful. I know, I've been in it before, but it's still helpful. And I think it was an awesome, well worth the time. So definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Any questions, you guys let us know. We're here to help.
All right. Sounds good. If anyone does have anything, if they want to just reach out to me directly, I can kind of go to Matt, especially if Kelly, if you want to think about property management side and what might work, definitely happy to get you Matt's contact or to handle it. So either way. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely want to think about it. So
Okay.
I want something for property management. I'm just not sure what yet.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you again, Matt. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Everybody enjoy your week and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye.